All right, you guys, I am so excited for tonight, our color personality test. I am just super, super pumped. This is going to be so awesome. I'm loving seeing everyone drop their two dominant colors in the chat. This is super, super awesome. Okay, so you guys. I am going to start us off. And so my two dominant colors are yellow and green. Oh, and I wanted to kind of say a little bit about me too, in case there's anyone kind of newer on. So I'm Anna Fur. I know the name says Rachel Need. I should have edited that, but I am Anna Fur. I have been in for over 4.5 years now, a double diamond in the company, and it has just been amazing. I just love no, not me. But no, I absolutely love our team and just love the community that we have. Like being able to be silly like this, I just love it. It's amazing. It's so amazing the community that we have. So that's just a little bit about me really quickly. So again, my two dominant colors is yellow and green, which green is actually new for me because it was yellow blue and then it switched on me. And when I took the test last week and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know anything about green. I was like, I know a little bit, but I don't know very much. And so I was like texting Taylor. I was like, can you like help me with this a little bit? Because I know that you're green and I just need some help on this. So it's really exciting getting to see like our colors change and see like the things that we're growing in, which is like what this is all about, what our Spirit Week is about this week. So anyways, going right into my yellow. So this is my mainly dominant color, you guys, and I say like I am just full on yellow at heart, like no matter what. And so my strengths with this is I am very people oriented. I love helping others. I am very adaptable to things. So like anytime like there's maybe a little bit of a change, I am very good at adapting it. So that is, just one of my strengths too. I'm uplifting and motivating, and I am more of a natural leader. So yellows like that, those are just some strengths that we have. If you are, mainly yellow or have any yellow that you've in there, which we all have at least a little bit. So those are some things that you've got. And then going kind of into my weaknesses. So what one of them is, and I've got my notes here because I knew that I would go all over the place if I did not have my notes. So my weaknesses is I want the big picture. Like I want to know, like I can overlook the details. So like I can be a skimmer sometimes. Like if you send me a huge long paragraph, I'm just gonna like skim through it really quick and just try to pick out the little nuggets that I just grabbed from it. And I won't always read it all. And so that's just like a big thing is like I really just want the big picture overall. Just like shorten it for me and just let me know, and then I'll go after it. I'll go do it. And then I am very talkative, and this is something too that like I can catch myself. Yes, voice clips, because I will listen to voice clips all day long, but if you send me a long paragraph, I'm like, meh, nope. I'm just gonna pick out little things. But no, the other thing is like voice clips. Now that's in my head. I am very talkative. So a lot of things is like I see this in myself is like I will be talking, and if I don't feel like I got it out enough, like enough information out, I'm gonna continue to talk, and I'm gonna continue to think that like I need to explain myself a little bit further when in reality I really probably didn't. Like I explained it just fine, but I feel like I need to explain it even more. And then the other thing is avoiding conflict. Us yellows, we do not like conflict. Like we are like, that's a no-go. Like I will just take a step out. You win. I'm not about it. I don't want anyone to be upset at me. I don't want to I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't like, we don't want the conflict whatsoever. We are very much like against that. Like we tend to like just take a step back and just kind of, and I'll say too is like we can kind of almost just let people run over us in a way too, in that sense. And so that's something that, like, as yellows, that we kind of need to grow in a little bit, is like, avoiding conflict isn't always like, that's really not always the best thing to do. I mean, not, you don't want to go in and like argue or anything like that, but just, kind of like seeing each other's point of view on things and not running away from it, because sometimes that can really hurt relationships if you just, and this is something, like, I'm talking to myself because these are things that I've done and I've went through. Like, I have just wanted to completely like go away from it and not want to deal with it whatsoever, and then just think that, like, oh, it'll go away, it'll die down, like, I'll just not worry about it, and the next time we see one another, like, it'll be fine. And so those are things, though, that, like, sometimes we really do need to talk it out with the person, figure out, like, what are they trying to, because with our different colors, like, they, to them, like, I'll just use this for an example, a red. If they come to me and they're like telling me things, and it's not like, I feel like a lot of times I would take it as they're just trying to, like, hurt me in a sense, when in reality it's not. That's just how they speak. Like, I'm a very much like, I want all of the pink hearts and all of the emojis to know that you're not mad at me, and if you give me zero emojis, I'm gonna think you're mad at me, and so I'm gonna just instantly be like, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? Like, what's going on? Like, that kind of thing. And so that's something, us as yellows, that really need to kind of, watch ourselves and just think that, you know, it's not always that they're mad at us or they're upset at us. It's just how they speak. And so, we can go and we can, sit there and just talk to them, and, and just kind of hash it out, in a sense, in a good way. And then another thing is not being as confident in ourselves. Us yellows, again, like, when, we see other people that are like loud and like being, like, just super outgoing, like, we're just, again, like, kind of take a step back and we're like, you got it. I don't want in the spotlight, like, I'm good. And, we don't think that we need to be in the spotlight, or we don't really want to, or like, we just think that we can't be them, in a sense. Like, I have caught myself doing that, where I'm like, well, I can't be them. Like, I'm not loud and outgoing. No one wants to hear from me. No one wants to learn from me. No one, would want to follow me or have me as a friend or post for me, or, like, all of those things that we just make up in our head that really isn't true at all whatsoever. But, like, we definitely, like, don't have as much confidence, and that's something that I have very much had to grow in, is like knowing that. And especially, I'll just be real and honest with you guys, in the last couple months, that is something that I've really grown in, because I have let what people think about me define me. I've let so many things like that, like other people, define me and my confidence. And that's not, let me just tell you guys, don't ever let anyone define you. Only the Lord can have all of that. Like, he's the one that he made you for a purpose and for a reason. He made you in his perfect image. Do not ever let anyone else define you. That is not at all. It does not. That is mankind. That is not your God. So do not let mankind define you whatsoever. So, anyways, so some kind of wins that we have with this is, we are always, and like I was kind of saying earlier, is we are kind of natural leaders, us yellows, because we are so people oriented. Like, we want to talk to our team, we want to talk to all the potentials, we want to, give them all the information and just love on them and help them change their financial, situations that they're in. We want to be able to help people to get to their goal, their weight loss goal, their health goal, like those things. Like, we're always there for our team and for our potentials, which is really amazing, especially in this business. That's something that is a really, honestly, a great thing. Now, sometimes we can kind of let that step over us a little bit. We need to, make sure we have boundaries on, you know, doing our tasks, making sure we're getting our tasks done, making sure that we have like that family time. Because I know that there was times where I would be like, oh, my, a teammate texts me, I gotta message them like ASAP, which we do if they're newer. Yes, like, you need to be there. But sometimes I would let that like overstep when I'm spending time with Cody, like those kinds of things. But it is really awesome that we are the natural leaders to be able to go out there and help people. And that's part of our heart. I've always heard that it is so hard to, like, if you are a red or maybe even a green, I don't know, but to like be able to transform more into like getting that yellow to want to like, and not that you guys like, not that reds are, none of you guys don't care about people whatsoever, not that at all, but it can be hard to kind of, you know put people first in a sense, to be able to want to reach out to your team, you know very first thing and not get your tasks done, to be able to no, not whatsoever, Taken. That's not what I mean. But just saying like it can be harder to like want to, go out and do like put your team first, be there for them first thing in the morning. And I'm going to kind of go over that here in a minute about my schedule and stuff like that, but it can be harder to like mush that yellow in there whenever you really don't have much of it. So, in saying like with being yellow, like that's really awesome if you've got that, if that's one of your dominant colors, because you truly really want to be able to just lean into people as much as possible. Um, and so I kind of talked about this a minute ago too, but for kind of the things that I have learned again in this is, we as yellows are very much into our feelings. Like I was saying, if someone doesn't send me any emojis, I think that they're upset at me when it's not that whatsoever. But like I can be very much in my feelings as a yellow. And I try to, and we really need to watch that because we want to, like, we are so much like just overthinkers and want to make sure that we are like, doing the best for everyone else and kind of put ourselves last. And, that's something that we really need to make sure that we're watching and that, yes, we always need to love people no matter what. That is what we're called to do, is to love, the Lord's people. But also, don't sit there and overthink things. Don't overthink if someone, didn't send you a heart emoji or like it. Let me know if anyone else is like this. But if I say to someone, I love you, bye, and they don't say I love you back, I'm like, stab right to the heart. I'm like, oh, that like hurts me so bad. I'm like, no, can you just say that you love me back? Because I said that I love you. Like, I will instantly, Cody has done that to me a couple of times, and I'll instantly call him back. I'm like, excuse you. Uh, what did you forget to say? I love you, Anna. I said that. I was like, well, I didn't hear it. So you just, I don't know about it. Yes, I love you versus love you too. I had to very much like listen, I had to very much just be like, Anna, you're way too much in your feelings, because I would most definitely be like, you need to put an I in front of that because love you ain't good enough. But we are just so much in our feelings, so we need to take those thoughts and those feelings captive sometimes, because those feelings can be really good, but also sometimes it's just we're being way too dramatic over it. Like it's really not that big of a deal, and we just need to kind of take a step back and really think about that. So anyways, that was kind of a long spiel about my yellow, but that's like my most dominant color, so I had a lot to kind of say on it. So my second color now is green, which is really new to me. But I love the greens. I love the greens because of like just wanting to be able to have all of the organization. Like, yeah, I really do love it. So the strengths with that, you guys, is you're a team player, you're very dependable, and you like organization. And to me, like that's like the key thing for me is the organization. I very much like, I know that you guys have seen in the chats, or maybe you guys have missed it, but like when I have busy days, I set a schedule for it. I most definitely do. Like now there's days that things pop up you just can't plan for, but those days that I know that I'm gonna have something, this is my full-time income. And even if it's not, but you're wanting it to be, you guys, you need to make sure that you're planning ahead your days. I know that this is supposed to be kind of, like it's all from your phone. You can do it, whenever throughout your day, and that is very much true. But if you want that full-time income, you guys, you need to make sure that you're setting a schedule and that you're getting your stuff done every single day, no matter what. I did not get to quit my job because of just barely getting by and just barely, making barely doing any of the tasks on our task list. Let me tell you guys, if you really want this, and I know this is kind of going off of what a green, but I feel like I need to say this. If you guys really and truly want to again go diamond and above, then make this a priority. Not a priority over God, not a priority over your family, but do not let your family be the excuse as to why you do not do this. Set that schedule. When I worked full time, guess what? My butt got up early. Guess what? I, on my breaks, because I could not work this throughout my day when I was working, breaks, I was working this. Lunchtime, working this. When I got up to go pee, working this. Before I left work, I was working this because when I got home to Cody, I wanted to make sure I had time for him. I had to cook, I had to clean, spend time with him. Guess what? When he went to bed, I was working this. I fit this into any time in my day, but I did not let the excuse of, of Cody or of if family members came in, I did not let that be an excuse. I'm doing this because I want to spend more time with my family, because I want to be able to go out and go on date nights. I want this to pay for gas and groceries. So, you've got to set that as a priority. Set that schedule up for yourself because I'm telling you, it's really going to matter and it's really going to help you a ton. And if you work full time right now, and when you get to that point to where like if you want to quit your full-time job or you do, the schedule's going to help you even more because I'm telling you when you're home, then you really do need a schedule because if you don't, then you're just going to be sporadic and just doing it whenever and oh, you feel like you've got all the time in the world. No. You still got to think people are out there and still have other jobs. So you've got to still get up early to make sure that you're messaging them before they leave for work. You've got to message them whenever they're at lunch time. They're on their lunch break. You got to message them whenever they'd be home and in bed. So thinking of those things. But anyways, that was like a long spill on organization. Um but moving on to kind of weaknesses. They really need reassurance, which bingo, that is very much me. And that's something that I'm working on because we don't need reassurance from people. We really don't. I mean, yes, it makes us feel better. It really does. But we need to be able to motivate and fill ourselves up. We shouldn't have to have reassurance from someone else all the time. So reassurance, indecisive and overanalyzing. That is something again that I have struggled with. Jess, I see your face. That is something that I feel like it is very hard to like not overanalyze and be like, especially in this business, because you're like, okay, what host to post do I need to have someone put up? What host to post ask do I need to use? What time of day should I send my host to post asks? When should I be doing this or that? No, just think like, when are people on their phones the most? I would start with that. Go from there. And ask your enroller, okay, what host to post do I need to use? Because we only want to use one. We only want people to post the same one, which I know we've been doing giveaway and burn host to post. So like that, but we don't want like someone to post giveaway, burn, DT, gummies. Like we don't want it to be a constant different thing. Make it simple for yourself. Stop over analyzing it. Stop over complicating it. Make it simple because it's not supposed to be that complicated. And I'm telling you, once you guys like do it and you start getting it down, it's literally like this business, once you learn it all, it's repetition. That's honestly what it is. Repetition for the tasks. Like it's doing the same thing over and over again, which is really awesome. Um, So, anyways, and then the other thing was being indecisive, which is something that very much like, is something that we need to grow in as well. Like that can be, which I guess that kind of goes over with over analyzing. But something to just kind of when you catch yourself like over analyzing or being indecisive, just like take a step back and be like, okay, am I very much overthinking this right now? What has my enroller told me before? What is it that I need to be doing? So just kind of, with all of these things, with these kind of weaknesses and stuff that you see, take a step back and just like think about it, pray about it, because it's usually not that big of a deal. So my the wins with all of this. Again, setting that schedule. So I'm going to kind of do a rundown of what my schedule looks like. And this honestly kind of goes along with what my schedule was when I worked full time. I really haven't changed it. So getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning, that is something that I've always done because that helps me tremendously. Like this morning, for example, I got up at 5 like I normally do, but then it seems like I done my Bible study, my Jesus time. I got some of my tasks done, and then it was like all of a sudden, all of these things, like people were calling me. I needed to do this, I needed to do that, and like just all of this like other stuff like popped up, and I was like, wait a second, this is like I have a schedule that I'm set to. And I was like, whoa, okay. So, like, there's going to be mornings that are like that you are just very unplanned and you can't help. But most of the time, that does not happen. So, getting up at 5 a.m., having that self-development time, let me just tell you, we have our self-development Zoom at 5:30 a.m. But then also, you guys, like, that's more business development. You need to be having your Jesus time as well. So I get up at 5. Cody leaves at 5:30. So when he leaves, I turn on the self-development Zoom. And I'm just like gonna do like a breakdown of literally what I do. Once that self-development Zoom gets on, I take a shower, I start getting ready, I put makeup on, I get dressed, I get myself ready for the day. If I still have some time, then I'm gonna, do any dishes if there's any dishes or vacuum, pick up a little bit because if there's things that are like that I just need done, like it's just gonna distract me, so I get those things done. When that Zoom is over at 6 o'clock, then that's when I go into my Jesus time and I sit there and I spend time with the Lord. However long that takes me. Sometimes 30 minutes, sometimes it takes me a little longer. I don't know, but that takes me that chunk of time usually. And then I'll go in and I will instantly either get on a power hour if depending on, what time we're having the power hour that day. I'll always get on power hour. Been in 4.5 years. I still get on the power hours because they are always, always, always helpful. I'm still always learning something. Or I forget something and someone says something and I'm like, "Oh yeah, like I remember that used to work really well for me. Why am I not doing it anymore?" So they're always very informational and always good to be have that chunk of time to get your work done. So I'm sitting there, I'm getting my work done. I'm talking to my team. I'm doing all of those things. And then I kind of have a chunk of time where I'm not really like I don't have a whole lot going on. I'll be answering messages or helping team or doing any of that stuff. And then I also have a timer, and I'll show you guys. I have a timer set for when I need to send my host to post asks because again, I'm home most of the time. And so my days will like just like go by and I'm good at sending my host to post asks morning, lunch, evening, but like in between in the middle of the day, I will forget. So I have alarms for every couple hours I send host to post asks. That's usually 10 to 15 every time. And guess what? I'm getting up my 10 every single day. And that's what? One, two, that's 7 times of me asking 10 to 15 people to post. But I'm sending 10 every time. Let me tell you guys, that takes me like maybe 3 minutes to send 10 out. It doesn't take that long. So I do that. Lunchtime, do another round of tasks. Then throughout the day, then I have we get into like my evening routine. Guess what, you guys? Been in 4.5 years. I still get on these Zooms. Even though, like, I could, yes, be spending time with Cody right now. He literally, like last night, he had just walked in the door as we started the Zoom. Tonight, he walked in the door 10 minutes before starting the Zoom, but he knows that these are important, so I make sure that I get on them. We don't always have them all week long. It's rare that we have them all week long, usually Monday and Tuesdays. He knows it's important for my business. It pours into me. I get to pour into others as well. And this business pays our bills. If it doesn't yours yet, that's okay. It's going to. It's going to pay for whatever you need it to. And I know that I'm like getting super off track, so I'm sorry, you guys. But, anyways, I just want to say like getting on these is super important. I still make it a priority. The organization, having the schedule, the other nights, go spend those nights with your family. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You can be sitting on the couch and still, be on the Zoom and listening, be on the couch with your family. Like, you know what I mean? Like, make it a priority. If you want this business to work for you, make it a priority. Because let me tell you, if you don't get on the Zooms, then you're not going to have that fire anymore. You're not going to want to do the tasks. You're not going to, know what's working. None of that. You're not going to be getting poured into. So then you're going to end up dwindling and just not wanting to ever get on the Zooms. I've been there. I say that because I've been there. I wouldn't get on the Zooms and then I would text Rachel and I'd be like, "I just don't have the fire anymore." "Well, are you getting on the Zooms?" "Well, no, I just feel like they're just not, I just don't feel like getting on." "Okay, well then next time I actually got on the Zoom and guess what? My butt was lit on fire." So they're always important. You're always getting poured into. You're always getting information to help you. So anyway, sorry, that was super long. But anyways, um, all of our hairstyles, I know. But anyways, okay, so then Zoom, and then I'll spend time with Cody. When he goes to sleep, I do a whole nother round of tasks, you guys, and then I'll go to sleep after that. So that's my daily schedule that I have. And so something else with this is setting up your team, making sure that they're set up for the morning. And if you don't have a team yet, that's okay because you're going to set your team up. They're the first, after I get my self-development done, they're the first people I go to. I don't start my tasks. I go to my team very first thing because a lot of them work and I want to make sure they're set up before they're out the door for work. I want to make sure that they already, have the resources that they need for that day or for at least that morning, to be able to go ahead and send out their host to post asks depending on where we're at in training. I want to make sure that they are set up. So they are very first thing, you guys. Make sure that you get your team set up because it's going to help them out in the long run and it's going to help you out too. So then the kind of losses that I have with green is setting high standards. I Us as Greens, the organization, we like want to have it down to a T, and we tend to very much like set those very high standards for ourselves. And if we don't meet them, then we're like, what in the world? Like, what is going on? Why isn't this happening? And just blah, 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 all these things. When sometimes it's a very unrealistic standard. Now we need to be pushing for goals. We need to be making sure that we're having goals that, yes, is a little bit of a stretch, but not something that at the moment that you cannot achieve, that is going to burn you out, that is going to make you very upset if you do not hit it. We want to again have the stretch goal, but not something that's way too far for us. So make sure that you're not setting too high of standards for yourself because we want to, we want to see ourselves winning. And guess what? You will win even with setting those stretch goals. You will very much still hit it. So, and then the last thing that I have, you guys, is with greens. At least this is me. Let me know if this is not you or not, but I like to stay home. I like to not be with a ton of people, a ton of group of people. I have very much grown out of that, but at first I was like, that I like that this is all online because I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to, I don't want to get in groups. I don't like, I just don't want to do that. So like that scares me to talk to someone in person. Now I've grown so much out of that, but that is something that, yes, as greens, like we just are homebodies or we just really don't want to be around people, all of those kinds of things. But that's something again to be able to grow out of. And I feel like that this business really does help us with that because it's kind of like baby steps. Like, you join and then you like start getting on Zooms and you get to see people on Zooms and then like maybe you start sending voice memos to your potentials or your like upline or something, and then you like maybe will go live on your page and then we have a get together, and then it's like so much easier because we already kind of know one another. So I feel like this like really kind of baby steps us into that, which is really amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Same. I'm like, yeah, no drama, please. I don't want it. Mm, nope. I'm very much the same way. So okay, anyways, you guys, I feel like I've been talking for forever, so I will stop talking and I'm gonna pass it over to Taylor. But thanks. Hey, I said that I was talkative, so y'all got the whole spill. But I love you guys, and it was so good to talk to you. Hi.
All right, so I know we just talked a little bit about green. I'm going to talk about it some more. That's the true nature of the green personality. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to talk about it, and we're just going to keep talking about it. So I kind of have, I do want to share. I wrote my green on my green card. I was very proud of that. Just wanted to share that. And then I made notes the whole time that Anna was talking because I was like, okay, wait. She did this, and then she did this, and then she did this, and then she did this, because I want to try to follow the same format she did. Okay, so my name's Taylor Weidler. I've been here for almost 4 years. June will be my 4 year mark. I am a diamond in the company, and it took me, goodness, it took me almost 2 full years to finally start taking this business seriously. Um, I promoted really fast in the beginning. I think I went Emerald in maybe 45 days. It was really fast. And then with just I know they've referred to it as like the dark ages, but back when there was all of this red tape and these rules that came along with these bonuses that we have, um, I did not have the green personality I do now. I did not read the rules and I did not earn the bonus because you had to have at least 6 personally enrolled or something. And I had 5. And so I didn't get the bonus. And it was super disappointing. And then my story really kind of resonates with Haley Light. Like I got to that emerald, I was making like, $500-600 a month. And I was like, okay, I joined for $50. So $500 that's money. That's money there. And so I was like, that works for me. I'll hold that. So I held that for a little while. Um, and you know what happens when you get stagnant is the inevitable. Your team starts to quit. Your customers start to cancel. You lose that fire. You start getting off those Zooms like Anna was talking about. And then it kind of all just falls apart. And then the doubt comes in. So if you're in a spot and you're like, well, Rachel went triple in 4.5 months, or I don't know everybody's timelines. I just know Rachel's. But she did this in this amount of time. She did this in this amount of time. Um, your story is your story. And that story is need that story needs to be shared because it doesn't matter how long it took you to do something, it's what happened along that journey. I don't know why that came into my head. That's not in my notes at all, so that was whack. So anyways, um, I am a green red personality. I hid the other notes because I knew I'd look at it. I'm like 45% green and like 30 something percent red. Um, and so I'm going to first talk about that green side. Some strengths that a green personality has is they're very into logistics. They want to know how things work, why they work that way. They're very confident in routine. Um, I think it's so funny, and she just left, so I'm going to talk about her. But Jess would always tell me after I would go live or something, she's like, I think you're very intimidating. And I was like, me? Because I don't feel, you know, like I don't feel confident, but I know the routine and I'm able to talk about it. And so that makes it look confident. It's just knowing what you're talking about. I'm really good at schedules. Schedules is a huge part of a green personality. Um, I'm going to show you. I have four of them, but one of them I think I gave to Paul for something. I have all of these different to-do lists. They're all the exact same. They're just different colors. I have to write down every single thing I'm going to do, or I will squirrel brain, or I will pause because I'm like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And then I sit there and I worry about it for the next day trying to figure out where to start. I guess it's more of a weakness, but having that schedule, creating that schedule is something that a green personality is really good at. Trackers. This is something for yourself, something for your teams when they have bonuses. I have papers everywhere. Like my whole desk is covered in papers. I'm a paper person. I like things written down. So I've got a bonus tracker for um, Michelle. I've got a bonus tracker for Jasmine. I've got a bonus tracker for Angie. I've got one for Jennifer. I've got one for all my girls on my team. I've got them all everywhere, and they are always in use. I'm always looking at them. Um, and I make sure that I'm updating those every single time an enrollment comes in so that I know where they're at. So when they come to me for questions, I'm able to help them with that. Um, Problem solving. I love problem solving. I love digging into it. I love figuring out what the problem is so that we can fix it. Um, some weaknesses of a green personality. I kind of talked about it a little bit. Initiative, taking that initiative to get started. Um, Paul and I have this tiff every once in a while because let's say the living room is trash. The kids ate food, so there's, crumbs on the floor. The table has dishes on it. There's toys, there's blocks, there's dinosaurs, there's bluey toys, there's dirt on the baseboards. They brought dirt in from the outside, and I'm just staring at it, and I have no idea where to start. I'm like, okay, I could start with that. I could do that. And Paul's over there already doing stuff, and he's like, are you gonna help? Or are you just and I'm like, I don't know where to start. But now, if he were to say, okay, you start with the toys, then I can go, okay, I'm going to do the blocks first, then I'm going to do the dinosaurs because the blocks take up more space. So if I get all those done, it looks like I've done a lot. So then I have more motivation to keep going. But not taking that first step, connecting that into the business, looking at Rachel had us print out triple diamond charts today. And I'm sitting there staring at it. I'm like, what? I sent a picture to Rachel. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where to put anything. Um, and so she, being the loving enroller that she is, she helped me with her yellow heart. She didn't say, don't worry about it. She sat there and she helped me, and I love that. Another weakness that green personalities have is accepting people where they're at. You're accepting people where they're at, not expecting perfection. Um, I feel like we always have those people on our teams that say, I'm going to do this. I'm running for this month. And then not much happens. You don't know what's going on in their life. So you don't know that they had a loved one pass away. You don't know that they're sick. You don't know all of these things. You're just like, they said they were going to do this, and now they're not doing this. And so you kind of start to spiral a little bit, and you're like, that's a very unhealthy trait because that's not loving them. That's forcing something onto them that you're wanting. Um, and I kind of talked about this, setting high standards and being let down, needing to be right in disputes. I had a girl today. She messaged me opportunity. I sent her the first little message that you're supposed to send, and she sent, "You don't need to know my name. This is a scam." And I was like, and the green in me, you guys, I wanted to give her all of um the videos. I wanted to tell her why she was wrong. I wanted to prove that this was not a scam. And I'm just like, you know what? That's not needed. That's not on my task tracker, is to convince people that this isn't a scam. It's to send the messages, it's to boost the post, and it's to send them the info. She don't want the info, I'm not sending it. I'm not worrying about it. Um, Not very social, and I kind of talked about that a little bit. Um, Planning for the future over focusing on now. That's something else that a green personality is really, really great at. And it's not the best because then you're not focusing on what you need to do right now. You're focusing on what needs to be done tonight, what needs to get done tomorrow, what needs to get done at month end, especially from a leadership standpoint. Um, I think it was either the end of the month or the beginning of the month. I think we were on Zoom for how long? Like 3 hours or something like that, trying to plan all of these things. And we were like, we probably didn't need to be on Zoom for that long. We probably could have done this, broken up. Um, and then my last weakness, there's a lot of weaknesses just because self-reflection, you kind of look at what you need to grow in. And of course, I'm going to name more weaknesses than things I'm good at. It's just a quality. Um, Practical idealist slash fantasy. There have been lots of times in my business that I said things will be easier when, I'll be happier when, and some examples. I have two babies. So I didn't always have this office. I just had a living room. And so I'd be sitting on the couch and trying to listen to Zoom on my phone because I didn't have my laptop yet. And Arthur's talking, Paul's watching a video or something, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't even hear this. And Rachel's like, put some headphones in. I'm like, yeah, I know, but like the ones I want are like, I wanted the Beats Pro. And I was like, they're like $300. I can't afford that yet. She's like, girlfriend, go to a gas station and get a pair of cheap headphones. You do not need $300 headphones to listen to a Zoom. I'm like, but that would make me happy. That would be ideal, but it is not necessary. Um, Another one was my self-development time. I was like, I love coming to your house and sitting on your front porch and just having the quiet. I live on Rachel's front porch when I'm there. It is the best thing ever. And I'm like, I don't have a porch. I'm going on all the reasons why I can't do it. And she's like, that's not realistic right now. You can do this. You just have to take the idealistic out of it. Do what works for you, accept where you are now. And I'm like, fine. Um, okay. And I kind of took my wins and losses a little bit differently than Anna did. I connected them with personal stories on things that I've personally like won and lost in. So wins, I love training newbies because it's systematic. I'm confident in the training that we do. I know that if we give them a post to start with, it may work, it may not, but we're going to post again tomorrow. And I know tomorrow we are going to add in what's on day two. My brain just goes numb if I don't have it written down, guys. Day three is host to post. I know that. So I know. Now, I don't follow the board to a T. I'm not sitting there pressing the button. If they ask me a question, I'm like, oh, geez. Like I've been in for a little while. I know what to send and when to send it. Um, but it's systematic. I'm teaching them the things. I'm telling them, I'm sending host to post right now. Do you want to send some host to post asks with me? It's systematic, it's logistical. It's anyways, that's losses. Um, Getting my chart updated on the 1st, on the 15th, and on the 25th. That is a mandatory thing for me. It's the 15th. I got my chart updated today. Because I want to know where I'm at. Um, and then I also do daily adjustments for that as well. If you don't know, if you go into eSuite, click reports, additional reports, and then downline orders, it'll show you a daily report of what's coming in to your business. So any order that is meant to run that day is going to show if it was accepted, if it was shipped, if it declined, if it got canceled. It'll show if that somebody placed an API order, which is just a one-time order outside of their subscription. It'll show if a new customer came in, a new distributor came in. And I feel like I'm explaining a lot. and this is where my losses come in. Give me a second. Um, I'm able to do that. I do that every single morning because I have some people on the team, they're not here anymore, but they would sign customers in the middle of the night and not say nothing. And then I wouldn't be checking my downline orders. And then 4 days go by and I'm like, holy cow, there is enrollments here that need to be transferred in the next 3 hours. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, wait, I need to make sure she responds because if she doesn't respond, it's not going to get transferred. So now I check that every single morning. Because I want to be, I want to know what's happening on my chart. That's a very green thing is you want to know at all times what's going on. Um, I have a plan at all times for myself and for my team. I wanted to show, I made a fake chart because I didn't want to show anybody's numbers. Um, but let's just say this is Sarah. I'm getting real technical here now. Her husband Brian has 480 volume, Jessica has 240, and Rebecca has 320. I kept it within 30-day drop numbers so it'd be easy to do math. Um, so I don't just send her a picture of this. I'm also going to send her this. And all this says is Brian needs, okay, I'm going to back up. I apologize. I don't build to 400. I know it says 400. I don't like those accidental cancellations, card declines. I didn't realize this was a subscription. I want to turn it off. I don't want to deal with all of that. I build all of my boxes to 600 so that when I have that big 30-day drop cancel, I'm not panicking. I know there's a surplus here. So all of my numbers are to 600. And for Ruby, if you have 400 in each box anyways, that's only going to get you to 1200. You still need 800 more. When you have 600 in each box, that puts you at 1800. And then you just need 200 more, which you need some of that under yourself to be commission qualified. So I'm writing down, Brian needs 120 BV to get to 600. That's 2 PMs. Jessica needs 360. That's 5 PMs. Rebecca needs 280. That's 4 PMs. Additionally, on top of all of that, you need an extra 40 BV. So I know you need 12 PMs. And I'm not stopping there either because I want them to know exactly where they're going to be moving all of this. This is a list of 1 through 5 PMs, 1 through 5 DTs, and exactly where they're going to move them in order. I can tell I'm losing some of you, and this is where my losses come in. My losses are feeling like the oddball and being afraid of scaring people away with logistics. This isn't a heartfelt, lovey, pouring into you, building your fire up. This is more of the behind the scenes IT work stuff. That's what I thrive on. And so when you're not a green personality or that's very low on your chart, that's foreign to you. And to me, I don't know if someone said this or if it's written somewhere, but it says a confused mind says no. And you're just like, nope, off. Don't want to think about it. My enroller tells me what to do. I'm good. And I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. And another loss that I've had is from that, toning it down for the sake of other people, being afraid of scaring them away. And I lose my routines and I lose my systems because I'm not loud about it anymore. I'm not loud about it in the chat. I'm not loud about it with my team. I'm not loud about it in my office because I don't want it to be too hectic in here. And so that's my green. I know Honesty is going to talk about red tomorrow more. It says I'm 30%. I don't know how. I feel like I'm more green. So I'm going to let Honesty finish up the red because I don't want to be on here the whole time because we have another Zoom after this. My schedule. Every single night before I go to bed, I'm filling one of these out. It is a lot more than this. I usually fill up 2 or 3 pages. I'm writing down every single thing that I need to get done. I need to wake up and do my Jesus calling and my devotional. I need to read my business development. I'm doing Atomic Habits right now. I've got 2, they're called day brighteners. I didn't know that was a thing, but they sit on your desk like this. This one's Jesus calling. And so it has the date on it. and it's got the Jesus Calling on it. And I've got one for every single day. So it sits on my desk and it's staring at me all day. I make sure that I do that every morning. From the time that I wake up, right now it's 6 a.m., up until that 7:30 power hour, or if we don't have power hour, or I'm Eastern time, if we don't have power hour that day, I'm still phone free for that entire time. Because if I look at my phone, I want to be in it. And I'm going to miss out on my Jesus time. I'm going to be distracted. I'm going to miss out on when Arthur wakes up and, the little toddler steps out of the room, still kind of tired and confused, and they just want a big old hug. I'm going to miss that because I'm invested in my phone. So I don't want any of that until 7:30. First thing I do when I grab my phone is I am messaging my team. I'm looking at, did anybody send anything overnight or early this morning? I'm sending trainings to the newbies. They need to be taken care of first thing. I'm not messaging people who message me giveaway overnight. If somebody commented on a post, if someone asked for info, if someone's even ready to stink and sign up, I'm not messaging them first. My team comes first. I need them set up so that when it comes to me doing my tasks, I'm not bouncing between things. I want my undivided attention on a specific thing. Um, like Anna said, I have alarms set for almost everything. I've got one at 6 a.m. to have me wake up. I do my quiet, peace, thankfulness time in the morning. 15 minutes, I lay in bed and I'm just quiet. I'm soaking it up. Then I get up, I have another alarm at 6:15 to let me know that it's time to get up because I'm not looking at my phone. I get up, make my coffee, come to my office because it's quiet and it's away from the kids' rooms, and I do that self-development until 7:30. Um, then I'm on Power Hour, team messaging, doing a round of my tasks. I just use the task tracker. It's right there. It works. Um, and then I feel like I've kind of talked about a lot on my list. Something that really helps me um, is text replacement over boards. One, it can lag sometimes. When you press on it, it sends the wrong thing. It wastes time for me. So I don't like using it a whole lot. I use text replacement. I can customize it to what I'm doing. I can use it on the laptop the same as my phone because they're connected. Um, that's one tip I would have if you have a green personality is getting yourself set up and organized. Um, Trying to think if I had anything else. Um, I think that's what I got for you guys. I'm trying to rush because we have another awesome Zoom right after this. We're going to be jumping onto Legacy Builders Tip from the Top. Our CEO, John, is going to be talking on there. So that is going to be super, super awesome. Um, Maybe I'll go live and say if I had anything else tomorrow, just because I don't want to miss anything out. But thanks for jumping on with us. I hope that this was helpful. Um, and I will see everybody in about 5 minutes. Don't forget, we have another spirit night tomorrow, and it is Hawaiian themed. Is that right? Yeah, it's Hawaiian themed. Rachel says she's going to wear her coconut bra. Okay, I'm gonna actually end it now. All right. I love you guys. Bye.